ChatGPT and generative AI are terms that you have probably heard in almost every recent conversation. While it has helped us complete last-minute assignments and answer clinging questions, have you ever thought about the kind of biases it may contain? AI systems mirror the society that have created them, and have been known to discriminate against people of specific gender, races, and nationalities through prior research. As we continue to rely on such a prevalent large language model, it is important to explore how AI portrays the disability community. Now, is there anything that stands out to you about this picture? Keep your thoughts on hold, and we will come back to this image later. Now, the larger question is, does generative AI think about disability bias? Racism, sexism, and ableism are systemic problems that are baked into our technological systems because they're baked into our society. Having more data won't necessarily fix the technological systems if the underlying problem is our society. In a study done by Penn State researchers to explore explicit disability biases in AI models, 10 sentence templates with a placeholder for various terms were associated with each disability group. The results of the study demonstrated that the model had problematic tendency to classify sentences as negative and toxic based on the presence of disability-related terms without regard for contextual meaning. The results of this research may be hard to comprehend in words, so let's interact with some AI chatbots to see the biases that lie underneath these AI models. Using ChatGPT 4.0, OpenAI's most advanced system that requires a subscription fee, I have asked the chatbot to create an image of people with a variety of disabilities looking happy. Now, this is the image that I previously showed you. If you look closely, it seems like all three of the people in the front are in wheelchairs, and the wheelchair is not really representative of what a real wheelchair looks like. To me, it doesn't seem like there is a variety of disabilities, as people in the back are just standing and smiling. We also see that the woman in the middle is wearing an eye mask with a hole on her right eye, and it is unclear as to which disability she's representing. I then switched to using Microsoft's Copilot to see the type of image it would generate. When I asked it to generate images of people with a variety of disabilities, it seems like the word variety was not really being emphasized. Most individuals in this clip art are in wheelchairs, suggesting that the AI model automatically assumes that if an individual has a disability, the individual is in a wheelchair. In another prompt, I asked Copilot to generate images of people communicating in sign language. I was given images of individuals supposedly signing all at the same time, which seems like a simulation almost. And in the top right photo, people aren't really communicating, but rather just holding hand signs and hand gestures. Interestingly, when I asked Copilot to generate an image of an autistic individual, I was given this error message and was told that some words or content were blocked. While I was able to report this issue, no further instructions other than the message, "Thanks for your feedback," were given. Moving on to the topic of inspiration porn. When I asked ChatGPT to tell me a story about a disabled person, it would always be a story about an individual who overcame obstacles and became an inspiration or role model for others. On the other hand, when I asked for a short story about a person without the term disabled, I would be provided with a random story without terms associated with inspiration. This relates to what is commonly seen in our media: disabled individuals being used as sources of inspiration and role models for their disability instead of their talents and skills. Here's an example. Pause to read how ChatGPT finished my story of one day an individual with cerebral palsy versus one day an individual was. You can see that the story about Alex, the individual with cerebral palsy, is posed as an inspirational story that breaks barriers, compared to the story about Mr. Emerson, who comes across a bookstore during a stroll. Lastly, I tested ChatGPT's capability of telling a joke about a disabled person. When asked to tell me a joke about a disabled person, I was responded with, "I'm sorry, I cannot provide jokes that target or make fun of any specific group of people, including those with disabilities." However, ChatGPT was able to make jokes about other groups of people when I excluded the term disabled. This demonstrates that disabled humor is currently censored in ChatGPT's language models. While the ultimate goal is to eliminate disability biases in all AI systems, this seems to be extremely difficult as human beings already have biases. Currently, researchers are looking into algorithmic auditing, the process of looking at the inputs, outputs, and the code of an algorithm to evaluate it for bias. O'Neill Risk Consulting and Algorithm Auditing is a service that provides bias auditing services and comprehensive assessments of risks associated with algorithmic systems. Although we can test for biases through these services, the elimination of these biases remain to be unresolved. It is critical that we, as a society, consider these biases and the implications they can have when using generative AI for our day-to-day tasks.